YouTube, Electric Adventures here with a very special 500 subscriber video. So thought I'd do an updated room tour to celebrate the 500 subscribers. I was also thinking of doing a competition, but I think I need a bit more time to organise that because I want to make some very special prizes for that, so we'll probably do that at the next milestone, 600 or something like that. But just for this one I thought I'd do a room tour because I haven't done one for a while, and you know, please let me know if there's anything you would like some more details on or focus on, and I'll try and do, you know, either a system review or might even do some mini parts of the collection updates in the future as well. But anyway, thank you to all my subscribers and for everybody who watches my videos and enjoys them, and without further ado, here we go to the game tour. Okay, here we go with the room tour. This is the computer side with some consoles and things like that. I'm just going to do a bit of a pan, and then up this side we have the consoles and other items. So what I'll do is I'll work my way around the various sections. Okay, starting in the corner we have my first arcade cabinet. Now it's a generic. I do actually have a twin comparable board. At the moment I have a 48-in-1 plugged in. It does have a problem with the power regulator on the monitor, so it actually doesn't fire up for very long before the screen goes crazy, but I've got a spare part for that coming soon. Over here is what remains of my Star Wars shrine. So I have Star Wars Lego, a few odds and ends. There's some Babylon 5 and Star Trek signed items up there as well. I recently also dug out my Star Wars role-playing game stuff, and that white folder contains my Star Wars original cards that came out in 1977, and I've also got some Empire Strikes Back ones as well. Top row is some Windows development books and Babylon 5 scripts, and my little chess computer. Next row are my original IBM PC games. I've tidied all of these up and found all the discs and all the keys and everything like that, and I have a fair bit more down here that won't fit. It's a little dark down there, but there's quite a few titles squeezed up in there, and I'm actually going to start doing some gameplays of some of these IBM titles. Now I have a setup. I'll explain that further when we get round to there. Just coming past here, that's a monitor that I picked up with my Acorn 5000. Haven't had a chance to give that a go yet. Now we have the retro PC collection area. Up on top we have a original Commodore 64, a TRS-80 Model 3 in working condition, bit of a drive stack. I've got a Atari 1050 drive, two Commodore drives, one of each type. They work. Can't test the Atari drive because I don't have an SIO cable at the moment. Commodore tape drive that works. Right, we have my Atari 800XL out at the moment because I've been using the Atari Max cartridge. Underneath that is the main Commodore 64 machine that I use, which is my C64C, and underneath that is my Atari 1040 STE, and there is a cartridge based 44 meg hard drive for the Atari ST as well, which is very useful. Now coming over, I use an Amiga, pop that up so you can see the model, 1081 monitor, very useful monitor because it has SCART and composite inputs, and I have a Sony G-code, forgot the model number now, RDR GX700, which accepts SCART, which is unusual in Australia, and that allows me, and it also does upscaling, so I can take composite inputs and grab them at the other end. There is a little bit of downgrading quality, so when I'm just using the computers for the computer's sake, I turn this unit off, and just let it go directly through to pass through to the monitor. Underneath there is my MSX2 machine, an Philips NMS8250, and that's its external keyboard there. So that's my one really good tape deck, Sanyo data recorder, and behind that is a Hammer non-powered, and I really do need to get a powered one. Basic SCART switch and mixer. The mixing allows me to deal with the SCART ones that need power input. And then I have another non-powered SCART switch there as well, so I can change computers with minimal plugging in and out, although usually I have to have one of the powered ones plugged in to get some of the others to work, so that's something I do need to fix. Alright, now so coming down to the stack that's below the MSX2 keyboard, we have my Amiga 1200 and Amiga 500. I currently don't have a working there's something wrong with my PCMCIA slot, so I'm going to put an internal compact flash solution in my Amiga 1200 at some stage. Now working our way up, we have my original Spectravideo 738 MSX computer with Antarctic Adventure in there at the moment, and sitting on top of it is the Auric Atmos, which is actually one of the powered SCART ones, so that actually, if I can turn that on and I don't have any SCART problems. So, but I would prefer something else that doesn't require me turning on another computer that I'm not using. I have a TRS-80 Color Model 1 that works fine, and then we have my Acorn Electron, a Mattel Aquarius hiding back there that works. This is my ZX80. That does have some startup issues. I just get a blank screen. It had some loose chips. I'm still having a look at that. And then one of my recent finds, I got a Spectravideo SVA 318 Mark II. Mark II being that this is grey, the original was all white, and this joystick is red, but they're even rarer. But this works fine, and most importantly the tape recorder works, so I'll be able to load some tape games. I'm sorry, I've got some Amiga software out there testing. Now behind there have a Sinclair ZX81 boxed and a 16K RAM expansion, and there's a Night Stalker cartridge for the Mattel Aquarius, which I don't think I've done a gameplay on. Now along the top here we have some retro computer magazines. These are MSX and Spectravideo stuff. Then we have TI 994A, some VIC-20 things, some Amiga software, just because all the boxes are different sizes, of not keeping everything in the same place just for efficiency of storage, and most of these are MSX and Spectravideo magazines. And also there's an actual CPM guide for the Spectravideo. Now coming down we have my Amstrad CPC 464. Light turns on, but I've never actually had that firing up because I don't have the right video cable. I ordered one, but I ordered the wrong one, so I ordered the one for the Plus instead of the base one. So I'll have another try at that later. Might have one of my Atari 8-bits, a 130XE, and an Atari 1010 tape recorder. Once again, haven't had it working because I don't have an SIO cable. One of my rarer ones, this is a Sword M5, uses the same chipset as the Spectravideo ColecoVision thing, although I'm not sure, I'm just sure it's got the Yamaha sound chip. Behind there is an Amstrad portable that's not working. I have a Micro-B, which is an Australian built computer, Z80 based. Bit more software there, bit more software there. Then we have a Dick Smith Wizard, which is the Australian branded version of the CreativeVision console, which is also another one that is similar, or it uses the same graphics chipset as the TI 99-4 and 4A, same main processor as well, or similar anyway, and but it doesn't use Z, so not a Z80 one. We've got a bit of software stored down there. And then we have the two John Sand Sega models. I've got the original SC3000 and the SE3000H. The 3000H is out, you'll see that in a minute. Then we have the stack of joysticks and cables junk that everybody has. Then we come all around to where I sit. So up here we have the SE3000H with the multi-cart in it, which has quite a few games on it. It's not like an SD or you know, flash based. It's EEPROM based, so you actually need an EEPROM programmer to change what's on there. There's a Vectrex cartridge sitting loose. There's my primary Vectrex. Works really well. There's my spare original controller with the bent control stick. My NES top loader, which sits over here because it only works with this TV, and with one of my favourite games in it, Zenek, which I only picked up recently. Then we have, under here we have an Acorn A7000, which is the latest Acorn that I picked up. My A5000 is now working, although it hasn't come back yet. A friend of mine has fixed the battery leak problem, so I'll be getting that back shortly. There's my Raspberry Pi, and that also hooks up to this monitor. You just got to switch and change a few keyboards and things. Just going down below the desk, we have my retro gaming PC. So this is for loading older PC software. I've put a new, quite a new graphics card in that recently, and basically the best AGP graphics card I could get, and it's got S-Video out, which will allow me to capture directly from it. There's my capture solution. So that's a proper official EZ cap, works very well. And works with 64-bit Windows, which is most important, and it captures composite or S-Video, and I'm going to be using the S-Video to capture from the PC. This is my PC that I do my editing from. Get that chair out of the way, there it is down there, and some random tools. Now I've tidied up all of my books and magazines, so down the bottom here we've got my Australian Personal Computer magazines and the larger Amiga books. Then up on the next shelf we have the next size books, so you've got more Amiga ones, Spectrum, Electron, Atari ST, and then we go up here and we have a big file box for CDs, so they don't take up so much room. More Amiga books, got lots of Amiga books, and more books on what have we got? Spectrum, ZX81, Auric Atmos, Terrace 80. Atari ST and Terrace 80 Color. Up here I have my iPhone development books and all my MSX and Spectre video books, and there's another layer back there which are basically Windows programming books. Quick flash around, this is where I actually work during the day. Right, over this side of the room, still a little bit untidy. I have my trades here, but I've also moved out my hardback sci-fi books into the house. That's a couple that were in here, and I've put my role-playing games. Still have more to get out and organise, but I used to collect all of the sci-fi role-playing games, and also most importantly anything to do with space battles and things like that. There's Universe, one of my original favourites. Empire magazines. Sitting in front of there, because I've got nowhere to go at the moment, is my Neo Geo Xbox. Okay, now we're into the main shelves over here. So this is my Atari ST software with a bit of Game Gearbox hiding down there. Now this whole shelf now is my MSX collection of software. I'm getting quite a few cartridges now. Of course, most importantly are these titles here, which are my own. That's going along nicely. I'm trying to get things like the set of all of the Capcom titles. There's a few more there that don't have top labels. Obviously not even trying to get MSX software box because it's just so expensive and it doesn't come up very often, but I do have a couple of nice ones there. Then up here we have Sinclair Spectrum software. There is like one ZX81 title in there somewhere, and we have a little bit of Terrace 80 Color software hiding there. Then some Terrace 80 magazines which will probably move over to the other side, and my Retro Gamer magazines. Next shelf up we have some more books for the TI 994A and Newton, and boxes that contain my Game Boy, Game Gear, loose software, Apple Newton, that one's Lynx, its label's fallen out, so I have my original Atari Lynx, the working Game Gear that Ed T1138 sent me. This top shelf is intrinsically supposed to be Amiga software, but it's got a few other loose items on it, like sort of the DS software that I've been playing with all came with it, if you know what I mean. So I've got those there, and there's one original what's it, a Game Boy, yeah, NES Classic Game Boy Advance, so I could actually play Zelda because I don't have an original Zelda. Up top here we have sorry, contrast issue again. Up here we have Atari 5200 box titles, my one Dick Smith Wizard title, Tank Attack, Raiden for the Atari Jaguar, very hard to get title, but I don't have the system yet. Then I have my boxed Sega SC3000 SG1000 title, so I've got Safari Hunt, Congo Bongo, Starjacker, a whole lot of tape software for the Sega, and there is a stack of loose ones there. That's my Sega Saturn driving controller, the box for the Lethal Enforcers, my VIC-20, which is actually in that box, the box for the Auric Atmos, the box for my Sega Saturn control stick, the box for the Sword M5, and the box for the Japanese Dreamcast that I have, and my stack of Atari 2600 goodness. So we have an Australian 6-switch Woody, a Darth Vader black, and a Junior is sitting up there, a bit hard to tell. Now below that and I love the efficiency of storage of PC Engine and Neo Geo CD. Well, we have a little bit of Dreamcast. There's actually only a couple of official titles there that Namco Museum is a download, but all these are actual SNK titles. A couple missing, I must have them out. Yes, I do, over there. And then all these are my PC Engine HuCard complete titles, and then all of my loose ones and my multi-tap. And then we've got a bit of sorted 3DO. Oh yes, I do have one Sega Saturn Japanese title, Biohazard, which I can now play because I have a Game Shark for that. Now we have my Atari 2600 boxed titles. Also hiding on the shelf are my Vectrex titles as well. I've actually got quite a few of those now with a recent trade. And some more boxed. And this is where my Nintendo 64 cartridges hide out. Don't have a tremendous lot of those. A few more boxed 2600, and then we get into the loose ones. Small loose ones with a couple more boxes down there. So, you know, I do actually have quite a big 2600 collection. And then down here we have my Atari 8-bit software that I have boxed. There's more hiding up there. And then over in this area, as well as the PC Engine joysticks, are all of my Atari 8-bit software. I have quite a few Atari 8-bit cartridges. This next little cubby holes has all my Atari 7800 stuff. And this tightly packed little cubby hole has all my Coleco titles, boxed and loose. Then we have my PS1 titles and my one boxed Vectrex title hiding in the side there. A couple of loose Game Boy titles as well. Then we have my original Nintendo titles. There are a couple of Power mixed in there, but they are mostly NTSC ones. And that's my PSP. Let's move that out of the way so you can see those properly. And there's a second cubicle of those there. So NES collection's built up quite nicely. Now coming over here I have my headphones, an arcade stick for the Sega, arcade stick for the Saturn, sitting on top of my Atari XE, which is another one of the 8-bit ones, the very last model that was brought out. Then we have my Super Nintendo, currently with a Super Game Boy in it and Rockman or Mega Man sitting in it. Then we have the Nintendo 64, actually mostly played by my kids. Obviously they were playing Banjo-Kazooie last time. Then, oh dear, this is dusty, my Sega Saturn with the Action Replay in it, which is an excellent little cartridge. Gives a bit more backup space, but obviously you can play titles from other regions, which is excellent. And then we have my, once again, I obviously needed to dust this section before this video, my Sega Mega Drive with an Action Replay 2 and Tatsujin, or and the name escapes me, it doesn't matter. Anyway, great game. Now down here we have my kids' Nintendo DS games, plus the PSP titles I decided to keep. I had a clean out recently and sent them over to a person in Japan who'll be doing a video once he has gotten settled from being back on holidays. Down here currently, because I've been trying it out, is my Neo Geo X and controller. I was quite enjoying it for playing a few Neo Geo games that I don't have. And this is part of the manual setup of my TV, along with this switch box here and an automated AV selector here for the ones I play the most. My PC Engine sits up here with its EverDrive card in it, and I pop it down on the floor and use the power supply from my Master System because that works fine with it. We have my GameCube, which primarily had out because I've got the Game Boy player here as well. It's probably got Zelda in there, I would say. I can't remember which one. Yeah, Mimish Cap, which I've been playing. So I have a Philips, nice big Philips TV with big speakers. It's really good, and it's got 3 sets of inputs. Only takes up to S-video though, but most of the stuff I've got here is composite, or obviously a couple of items are RF tuned. Under here I have PS2 Slim, which I use for playing PS1 and PS2 games. My Master System Model 1. ColecoVision, which has the Ultimate SD from Atari Max in it. My Intellivision, and my Atari 7800, which I use for playing all my 2600 games as well. Obviously all these 3 things down here are RF. I'm currently working on, I have another spare ColecoVision which I had to open up and fix anyway, so I'm currently going to do an AV mod on that. Especially since its on-off switch works better than this one. Now moving along, we have a little bit of a bottom section here with GameCube, original Xbox, which I don't really have many titles of. Then there's the original Xbox, and a PAL NES system that's, you know, pretty. I mean, I've cut the unlock chip, but obviously it runs at power speeds, so it's not really any good for running most of the games, and most of the time they don't work anyway, so don't really use that one. There's my PS1. Don't use that a lot because I play those games on the PS2. Then my Neo Geo CD. I actually play this console quite a bit. And I said the titles I had out were Last Resort and Azo 2. And there's my Japanese Dreamcast. And I'll step back because now we have my Sega Master System collection section. You notice there's things like the light gun and things like that as well there. Neo Geo CD has no copy protection, so I do have a couple of downloaded ISOs that I play on that one. Okay, moving along, we have my Intellivision collection, which I've got a fair few titles all boxed. I've actually only got a couple loosed. Oh, there's another Sega Master System controller, and this is my Sega Saturn collection, including the Action Replay Plus that I got recently. So a fair few. I'm actually not really intending on collecting them too seriously. I've actually built up a reasonable collection. And then we have my Sega Mega Drive, which I only really collect the shoot 'em ups, but I do have a few non-shoot 'em up titles that I've had for a long time. I've actually, even here, I've taken out all the sports titles because I'm going to put them somewhere else because I've got no real interest in playing these titles. So if anybody wants any of these particular ones, let me know. A few more titles there. My two 32X titles. I don't have a 32X. And then down here I have my very limited number of SNES titles, and my remaining boxes for my Nintendo 64. I don't actually have the Zelda. I have picked up the contents of the other ones now, so and I have a few American SNES titles as well, but I don't have an adapter for playing those. So just on the way up to the top, we have my original Spectra Video tape deck, the expansion bus, my original Amiga 1000, a spare Intellivision, but it does have some issues. It's got a broken controller wire. My original Spectra Video 328. This box contains power supply, and here we have the Texas Instruments TI-994A, and up the top we have a few boxes and 3D glasses, Wyco trackball, which is excellent for Centipede and Missile Command, and that's some of my PS2 collection. I have more inside the house. I suppose I don't consider them totally retro, and I don't have the room in here to store them, although I'm thinking of getting another shelf. There's the another Spectra Video 738 Express in box. It's my friend's, who also gave me his original Woody 2600, and this was mine, a graphics tablet for the original Spectra Video as well. It actually came out with quite a lot of peripherals. Right, I'll do a panorama down this side, across to the editing area, and then over there. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed the room tour, and I'll catch you all next time.